Welcome to the deep dive. So if you're in business today, there's this crucial shift you really need to get your head around, that old formula. You know, quality plus price. Our sources are pretty clear. It's dead. Or at least incomplete. Trust is now the absolute baseline, the non-negotiable before anyone even thinks about buying.
Exactly. And it's not just some fuzzy feeling, right? Trust is a hard strategic asset now. It turns directly into revenue. I mean, get this. 87% of shoppers across the globe say they'll actually pay a premium. They will pay more for stuff from brands they genuinely trust.
87%. That's huge. It's a massive incentive to build that trust. But here's the catch, especially for the big players, the mega brands. The data shows this, like, major disconnect. You've got 79% of B2C leaders thinking, yeah, customers trust us.
Right, they feel confident.
But then only 52% of actual consumers agree. That leaves this massive 27-point trust gap. That's the liability we need to unpack here.
It really signals a fundamental problem, doesn't it? And why pay more? Well, that trust premium, advised assurance, could be better customer service, maybe knowing the sourcing is ethical, or, just the comfort of a solid reputation.
And when things feel shaky, like with global uncertainty...
That's when people pull back. They lean local.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah, exactly. That's where this whole thing gets really interesting. Consumers just gravitate towards what feels, well, physically closer when things are unpredictable. Our data shows globally these local, domestically headquartered brands, they're beating the foreign ones by an average of 15 points on trust.
And it's even more dramatic in some emerging economies. Look at South Asia. Domestic brands there capture something like 81.4% of total customer influence. That's astonishing. They're winning because they feel close, they feel authentic. You can almost, verify them more easily.
Okay, so local wins by being physically close. But what about online, when it's all digital? That brings us to maybe the starkest measure of this digital trust failure. Let's look at Bangladesh's e-commerce market. It's huge, like $9 billion.
And the key number there, 75%.
So
75% of all e-commerce transactions still use cash on delivery.
Wow. 75%.
Yeah. And look, this isn't just about convenience or logistics. It's basically a security measure. People only trust the deal, really, when they can hold the product, check it out, before they part with their cash.
So COD isn't just a payment method. It's a direct measure of low digital trust on these platforms. But what's fascinating, you mentioned, is how smaller players, microbrands, seem to handle this better.
Yeah, it's interesting. These small businesses, often using platforms like Facebook, they manage to reduce that COD reliance. They do it through, transparent personal communication. It feels more direct, less anonymous than a giant platform.
Okay, so that points towards solutions, towards strategies. Microbrands swap massive reach for, what, relatability?
Relatability, exactly. And their secret weapon. Often it's the micro-influencer, the ones with maybe 10,000 to 100,000 followers. Sources suggest these campaigns can deliver something like an 11x higher return on investment compared to standard digital ads. It's pretty remarkable.
11 times ROI. But can a mega brand really do that? Can they run thousands of tiny campaigns and keep it all coherent? To shrink that 27-point gap, they've got to somehow copy that local authenticity, right?
They have to try. It might mean decentralizing their marketing, focusing on really hyper-local stories, purpose-driven stuff, campaigns specifically detailing local sourcing or community impact, things that feel tangible.
And being transparent about it, I guess.
Absolutely critical. Mega brands need to start publishing things like a verifiable transparency index. And this isn't just, fluffy PR. It needs to be real data, specifics on ethics, supply chains, the works.
Which means new skills.
Right.
The job market must be shifting. We're hearing about roles like trust architects. What is that exactly? What do they do?
Well, trust architects aren't just marketing folks. Think of them as internal translators. They specialize in things like community management, but also data-driven storytelling. They take all that complex ethical stuff, the supply chain details, and turn it into authentic stories that resonate locally with consumers.
Okay, makes sense. Critical roles.
Very. Because even as we build all this sophisticated trust stuff, there's this huge potential pitfall.
Yeah.
Automation.
Ah, right. The AI warning. This is important. While AI tools are great for logistics, for efficiency, the data shows 64% of consumers actually prefer companies don't use AI for customer service.
Yeah, they'd rather deal with a human.
Yeah.
It proves that connection, that empathy. It's still vital. People often push back against AI support because, well, it lacks empathy. It often breaks down with complex, non-standard problems. You can't invest in a trust architect and then just, you know, annoy your customers with a chatbot that doesn't work.
Right. So let's recap the big takeaways here. Trust is clearly a major revenue driver now. Local brands seem to be winning the influence game, leveraging that closeness. And that 75% cash on delivery figure, that's like the smoking gun for digital trust failure, isn't
He
it?
really is. But maybe let's leave you, the listener, with one final thought. Something about the scaling trap.
Hmm.
Think about a successful micro brand. It built on that personal touch, that relatability. What happens if it scales too quickly? If it starts automating everything, outsourcing that crucial human connection?
It risks losing the very trust advantage that made it successful in the first place. It could become too impersonal, too corporate, and end up falling right into that same digital trust deficit it was originally solving. It's this constant tension, isn't it, between growth and authenticity, speed versus sincerity. Definitely something to think about as you work on your own trust architecture. And that's all we have time for on this Deep Dive.